Can I get answer?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, so it will get a match. Why? Because the rule says LAN to WAN and any application, whether it is Facebook or web browsing or whatever application it is, right? So it lists any application. So yes, the traffic matches this security policy rule itself. Okay. Now, whatever action is mentioned there, that is taken. Okay. So it says allow. Now the Facebook traffic is allowed. Now, once the firewall matches the traffic with one of the security policy rules, it's not going to go and check beyond that. Okay. So it's not going to go and match with this one. No, it will always match this security policy rule only, and the traffic is allowed here. So never, whenever anybody uses Facebook, never the firewall will be able to match with the security policy. Okay. Now this is called as shadowing. Now this first rule, what is doing is it is shadowing the second security policy rule. Now this is not an error. Okay, this is not an error. Still the commit will be successful, but it will let you know under rule shadow that hey, security policy rule 1 is shadowing security policy rule 2. Okay, so this will never allow the second security policy rule to be matched ever. That's why what the recommended thing is, you always write the more specific rules on the top, okay, and write the generic rules on the bottom. So write specific rules on the top so that they will get the match, and then write the generic rules at the bottom. So in this case, it's a rule shadow. So rule 1 is shadowing rule 2. So that will be displayed here under rule shadow. Okay, so more on this, we'll see how this is saying and how it can be correct. We'll see in module number 6 in your security policy rules. Okay. And then you have the per administrator save and revert. That means we saw commit per administrator and full commit, right? Same way, save and revert also you can do per administrator or for all the administrators, same thing. Now, what does this save changes do? Okay, when you click on this save changes, so let me show you in the firewall. So instead of going to device setup operations and going for save, instead of that, you have this option here itself. So when you click on this save, click this one. So when you drop down this, it'll have save. So when I click save, again, it'll ask me whether you want to save all the changes or you want to save changes made by any specific admin. Only that one you want to save in the snapshot.xml. It is asking for that, right? Now, once I give save changes made by any specific one, okay, then I can click here and select. As of now, only one administrator is there, right? So that's why it is not showing the list. If there are more number of administrators, it will show me the list of administrators. Okay. For now, whose changes, which administrators changes, should I save it in the snapshot.xml? I can select that. Same thing with revert. Any specific administrators changes I want to undo, I can select that. So revert all changes, everything, any administrator changes we want to undo, remove them, or any specific administrator changes we want to undo, we can select it there. Okay, so that is your save and revert options. Per administrator or full everyone, we can select that. So per administrator or all changes. Same with revert, per admin or all changes. We can select that. Then we have these three options in your commit. So when you click on commit, in your commit window, you have these three options. One is your preview changes. Next is your change summary. And then, sorry, one is your preview changes, then change summary, and then validate commit. Now, what does this preview changes have? Now, this preview changes shows a comparison of what is there in the running configuration and what have you done in your candidate configuration. Side by side comparison. So compares the candidate configuration along with the running configuration. Okay. Now, if any new thing is added in your candidate configuration, let's say already you have the running configuration. Now in the candidate configuration, you have made some changes. Okay. If you have added anything new, that will be shown in green color. Okay. All the new things changed will be shown in green color. If already existing element, okay, you have modified that in your candidate configuration. New things will be shown in green. If you have modified something, that will be shown in orange color. Or you have deleted something. So already you had an element in your running configuration. That element you have deleted in your candidate configuration. That will be shown in pink color. Okay. Now to show you this one, to show you that in your firewall. So let's say go to device, and then let's say we are going to commit. So go to commit, click on commit, and you have this option of preview changes. So when you open this preview changes, so let's say 10, yes, it'll show me the comparison of this running configuration and candidate configuration. Okay. So earlier in running, this was not there, but in candidate, I have maybe added some antivirus profile. That's why it is showing in green color. Okay. Then, yeah, so this login banner, right? So that one I changed. Yes, if you remember. So earlier it was like authorized access only. That I modified to something else. Hello all admins. Okay, so this is a modification. So those modifications are shown in orange color. If anything new, that will be shown in green color. If something was deleted, maybe let's say something was deleted, now those things will be shown in pink color. Okay, just a side-by-side comparison of what was there running, what is active now as of now in your running configuration, and what have I modified in your candidate configuration, those things. Just a comparison. So that is your preview changes. Just a side-by-side comparison. Okay. Then you have change summary. Now change summary will list out all the individual settings, right? So whatever you have done, whatever changes you have done, all the individual settings changes will be shown. Okay, who has done that, which administrator has done that, whether it has been edited, whether it has been added or modified, all those changes will be shown in change summary. Next is your validate commit. Now before you do the commit, if you want to check whether whatever changes I am making, whether that will be correct or not, whether any errors will be available or whether any warnings will be there, you want to check that, then you can do that using your validate commit. So validate commit shows any error messages that would appear during the commit. Now this one we can use, let's say you have lots of changes to be made. Okay, lots of changes to be made. Now you don't want to wait till the last change and then finally you do the commit. Okay, when you do that, then you will be seeing lots of error messages. Okay, instead of checking that, after each step, let's say after each configuration, you go and do this validate commit and check whether with that step, whether any error is there, any warnings are there. If everything is good, then you go and check with the next one. Like this, after each step, you go and do the validate commit, check for any errors. If those configurations are fine, then you can go ahead and start doing everything else. And then finally, you can do the commit it a whole. And you'll be sure that whatever configurations you are doing, there will not be any errors or any warnings. Right? So just validating whatever changes you have done, whether they will get any error or warnings or not. Next is your transaction logs and multiple administrators. Again, as we saw in the previous example, let's say we have 3 administrators, admin 1, admin 2, admin 3. Okay. Now, admin 1 is working on security policy rules. Okay. Admin 2 is also working on security policy rules. Admin 3 is working on, let's say, profiles. So these are the roles and responsibilities assigned. Now let's say admin 1 is taking access to the firewall, okay, and he is configuring some security policy rules. Now he doesn't want admin 2 to come and disturb and create other security policy rules till he has finished configuring everything. Okay, he doesn't want to get disturbed by administrator 2. Now what this admin 1 can do is he can take up a log, okay, using which he will not allow other administrators to disturb him. Now there are 2 types of logs. One is your commit log, another one is config log. Now what is your commit log? Now when let's say administrator 1 is taking a commit log. Now what does it do? It will block other administrators from committing the candidate configuration. That means if admin 1 has taken, let's say, the commit log, admin 2, during that time, admin 2 or admin 3 will not be able to do any commit. They will be able to do the configurations, right? So they will be able to do the editing and doing the configurations, they will be able to do, but they cannot commit that. Right? So that is your commit log. Now, what is this config log? If admin 1 has taken the config log, it will block other administrators from changing the candidate configuration. Okay, let's say admin 1 has taken the config log. That means admin 2 and admin 3 will not be able to do any configuration only. Only admin 1 will be able to do all the editing. Admin 2 and admin 3 can only monitor. Okay, they will not be able to do any configuration, nothing. Okay, so those are your logs. So commit log and config log. So for not getting disturbed by others, the administrators can take these logs. Right. So how do you take the log? So you can click here. So in your firewall, you can click on this log button. So as of now, no log taken. If the padlock is open, that means load log is taken. So click here, click on this, and it'll show you. So now you can take a log. So click on take a log. What type of log you want? Whether you want to take commit log or config log, select that. Let's say you want to take config log. Now you can give a comment. Let's say config configuration. No, let me take to finish security. Sorry, security policies by EOD. Okay, let me zoom this a bit. So I'm just giving a comment. So to finish security policies by EOD and then click OK. Now I have taken lock. Now you can see the symbol here. The lock is taken. Right. So now I am the admin. I have taken a config lock, and then the command is to finish security policy rules by end of day. And then I can click OK and then start doing the configurations. Now when other administrators they come and then say they see here a lock is taken, when you open this, they will be able to see this line. Now they will understand, okay, this administrator has taken a config lock to finish the security policy rules by end of day. Let him complete and then we will be able to do. Okay. So yeah, now how this lock is removed? Now the administrator who has taken the lock, once he commits, automatically the lock is removed. Okay, so that is one way. Or if you are the super user, okay, you can go and select it and then remove the lock from here. So you can highlight it, whichever lock you want to remove. If you are a super user, highlight it and then remove the lock. It will remove the lock. Now the super admin has the credentials or privileges to remove any lock. Okay, so more on what the administrator type we'll see in module number 4. Okay. So yeah, so that is your config log and commit log. And now the last part is your via firewall logs, right? So how do we check the logs, right? So how do we create a filter? Basic things. Okay. So let me, so yeah, so we'll start it. So where do you go and check the logs? So you need to go to monitor tab, and there we have the logs. So all these logs are available here. Now let's explore this in your firewall itself, right? So we need to go to monitor tab, and there we have all the logs available here, right? So starting from traffic logs. So whenever the firewall, any traffic matches any security policy rule, the traffic log is generated. Okay, and then threat log. Okay, and any traffic that is matching your security profiles, that will generate the threat logs. Okay? Now, like that, for each of these logs are there for a reason. Okay, and yeah, now if you want to generate any logs, okay, so these are the whole logs. Now you want to generate any specific logs, let's say for any specific user, you can click on this hyperlinks, right? So all these blue color, whatever is there in blue color is all your hyperlinks. Now before that, these are all the columns or attributes which are available here. Okay, so you can check all the columns. Now if you want to select the column, let's say you don't want any column or you want some column to be available, then under all these columns you have this small drop down arrow. Okay, you can click on any of these things. Okay, so click on this and then you have the option of columns. Now when you click on columns, you have all the attributes available. Now you can check this one, whichever column you want, you can check this one, that will be available. Or you don't want any column, let's say I don't want this column, I will uncheck it. Now that column will go away. Okay. Now let's say you don't want this type. Okay, you can go to this one, columns, and then when you uncheck it, sorry, when you uncheck it, that type will go away. Or you want this, you check it. Right, so you have all these many attributes, okay, to check from. So you can go and check all these columns. Whatever attribute you want, you check that one. That column will be available here. Okay, and then you can drag and drop all these columns from one place to another. Let's say you want to have information about this destination near the source. Okay, you want the source and destination to be nearby. You can just click on this and then drag it and drop it here. Okay, you can just drag and drop the columns from one place to another place. Let's say application you want here at the beginning, drag and drop it here, and that will be available. Like this, you can drag and drop the columns and play with it. Yeah. So those are the basic things. Now let's say you want to create a log or generate a log for a specific user, for a specific source user. Okay. Now if you can spot that user here in your column here itself, well and good. Just click on that. Okay, just click on that user. Let's say 1.20. Click on that. Automatically, that query is created here. So all these things, whatever blue in color you see, okay, all these blue colors are your hyperlinks. So you can click on any of them and automatically that will create a filter here. Now, how do we run the filter? Once you create the filter, you have this arrow button, which is apply filter. Click on that apply filter. Now, all the logs which matches this condition, that is your source address. So I clicked on this source address, source one, right? So it will generate a filter which is source address in this value. Now, whatever logs are there matching this query will be listed on. So all the logs which has a source address 192.168.1.20, everything will be listed out. Okay. Now, not necessary that only one filter, only one thing you need to click. Let's say I want to generate all the logs for this source user and with a specific application, let's say web browsing. So let's say I have web browsing here. So I can click web browsing here. Now that also will be generated here. That filter is also created here. Okay, and the connector between the both of these queries is your AND connector. That is your default one. So let me zoom in a bit. Yeah, the default connector is your AND connector. Okay, now what does this mean? When I run this filter, when I apply this filter, the logs, all the logs which satisfy this source address and also should satisfy this application. Both the conditions should be satisfied. Only those logs are available here. Now, if you see, this should be the source address and the application should be web browsing. Only those logs are available here. You can manually go and edit this one. Let's say you want to change the connector to or. You can go and click there, manually edit it. And then you can apply this filter. Now, all the logs will be there. It may satisfy this condition or it should satisfy this condition, not both. Since the connector is OR, it should either the source address should be this one or whatever logs are there which has the application web browsing, those will be listed. Okay, like this, you can go and edit it here, edit manually. So let's say I want to check for a different source address. You can go and click here, let's say 254, and then when I click enter, any logs which is matching this filter, both the conditions will be listed down. Okay, so yeah, so that's how you create a filter. You can either manually go and type, or you can click on these hyperlinks and then create these filters. Now, if you have a very complex filter, let's say as of now, I clicked on this because it was visible to me. This source address was visible to me. That's why I clicked it here and then I got this available. Okay. Now let's say that value, whichever value I am searching for is not available. Now what I have to do, I have to go through the whole logs, right? So one by one, each page, I have to go and search for that address. Instead of that, what I can do is I can create a filter. So using this filter builder. So this option of filter builder is there. So add filter, click on this. And here I can create a filter. Instead of going and searching for that value, specific value, I can create a filter. And so now all the attributes, all the columns, all the attributes are available here. Now I can create a filter here. Let's say source address. We have the attribute source address. Yeah, source address here. So source address. What is the operator in? And the value, give the value. Let's say the value is 192.168. Sorry, 168.1.20. Okay. Create this filter. What is the source address and what should be the value? Once you have created this, click on add. Once you click on add, that filter is available here. Now, if I want to create a very complex filter, okay, I want to have the application, I want to have the destination, all these things. I want to create a filter like that. Now, let's say another attribute I want. Let's say application. I want to go for application. Application. Okay, equal to. What should be the application? Give that value. So let's say web browsing. Select that. Okay, now application should be equal to web browsing. Now, what should be the connector between this filter and between this filter? What should be the connector? Whether it should be and or. Let's say and. Okay. Once you populate everything, click on add. Now that filter will be available here, and the application should be equal to web browser. Now, if you want to create a more complex filter, some other attribute also you want to add. Let's say your destination address. Destination address. Okay. In. Okay. Let's say 8.8.8.8. There's some destination. Okay. And what is the connector between this one and this one? So let's say add. Add that. When you click on add, that is available here. Now the destination address is 8.8.8.8. Now, once you have built the whole query, the full query, the full filter you have built, finally you can click on apply. So click on apply. Now you will get the whole query here. Okay. Now when you run this filter, apply this filter. Now all the logs, any logs which matches the whole three condition, they will be available here. As of now, there is no. Let's say give or, and then run this filter. Now whatever logs are matching these conditions, they will be available here. Okay. That's how you make use of the filter builder. Now let's say this filter, this query you will use often. Let's say every Monday, every week you will use this, right? Now every time you cannot come and create this one. You don't have to come and create this one. Instead, you can save this filter. So click on this save filter, click on this save, and then give a name. Let's say test. Okay, just for namesake, I'm just giving a name. Giving a name, save that. Now after 1 week, I'm coming back. I want to create the same logs. I want to create the same filter. You can load back. Load that filter, click on load, and it will give you all the filters whichever you have saved. So this is the one I saved now. So select that, highlight it, and then click OK. Automatically that filter is created. Now you can apply the filter and then get the logs. Then also you have the option of downloading this one, right? So exporting these logs, whatever logs you created, you want to export it, you can download it in CSV, right? So you have the option of export to CSV. You have this option at the end, right? So click on this export to CSV, and then it'll ask you to download the file. So click on download file, and that will be saved in your laptop. So you can click on save, and that logs will be saved in your laptop. Yeah. So that's about it. So yeah. That's about viewing the firewall logs. So let's go and review this quickly in your slide deck. So yeah, so view and go to your monitor logs. All the logs will be there. So you need to create the query here. This will run the query. And then if you want to clear any existing query, you can click on this into button, clear the existing filter, right? And then click on any link. This all these blue color, all these are your hyperlinks. Okay, click on any of these things to add that item as a filter option. Okay, these black color, they are not hyperlinks. Only the blue color are your hyperlinks. And then your filter builder. So you can use any filter builder, use this filter builder to create a very complex filter. So whatever values are not there viewable in your columns, for those things, you can go and create a filter builder. So select the attribute operator, what is the value, and then click on add. This will be available here. Then again, you can create a more query, create more complex filters, and then click apply. So now that will be available here. Okay. Also, you can save a filter, load back a filter, and then once you create the logs, you can export that using CSV. So download log in CSV format. You can export that. Okay. And yeah, so that's about it, guys. Module number 3 also done. So in this module, we saw what is a running configuration, what is candidate configuration, and then what are the different operations to do this managing firewall configurations, right? So you had export, import, you had revert, save, and load, all these options. And then finally, we saw how do we view and filter the firewall logs, how do we check the logs, how do we create a filter builder, all those things. Okay. So yeah, module number 3 done, guys. Any questions?
No.
No, thank you. Thank you. So yeah, so I think I have exceeded the time limit. So we are already, into the lunch break. So it's okay. So we have just two labs for this. So not a problem. Okay. So if you have no questions, so if you want to answer these questions, so please do, guys. So we have a few questions here. So first question is, which two statements are true regarding the candidate configuration? Sure, can you let me know? Which two statements are true regarding the candidate configuration?
It can be reverted to the current configuration.
It can be yes.
Possible
Can be
changes.
reverted. Yes, C option. Good.
Mhm.
Another option. So you need to choose two. So yeah, C is one of them. It can be reverted to current. Yes.
It contains possible changes to current configuration.
Excellent. So B option. It contains possible changes to current configuration. Excellent. Next question, true or false? The running configuration consists of changes in progress, but is not active on the firewall. True or false?
False.
It's
It's
false.
B.
Yeah, false. Because it is active on the firewall. Great. Next, when committing changes to the firewall, what results from clicking the preview changes link? What does preview changes show?
C.
C option. Great. So compares the candidate and running configuration. Excellent. And the last one, the export operations transfer configurations as XML formatted files on the firewall.
Yes, it's true.
True.
A.
Yeah, true. Great. So only XML formatted files. Yeah. Great, guys. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that. And that's about it. So you'll be doing a lab. So you'll be loading the baseline configuration and then doing all those operations, right? So configuration operation, then saving, exporting, and then saving ongoing operation configuration changes, reverting. Then you will be viewing preview changes, and then you will be viewing the files, log files. How do we check the log files? How do you create a filter? How do you make use of filter builder? All these things you'll be doing in lab number 3. And yeah, so that's about it. All the 3 modules done. Now let's break for lunch, guys. So we'll take a 1 hour lunch break. Okay. I hope 1 hour will be sufficient, or you want a longer lunch break? Yes.
Yes.
1 hour. Okay. Okay. So before you go, let me also give you the credentials for the lab. Okay. So you can, if you want to do the lab before itself, you can do the lab. I will leave it to your convenience. Or you want to do the lunch break and then come back and do the labs. Depends on you. But let me give you the credentials as of now. Right. So this will be the link for you. Oh, sorry. The link for you to access the lab. So let me put it in the chat box. This will be the link for you to access the lab. And then I'll post the credentials now. Yeah, so these will be the credentials, usernames. So please check the usernames are near your names. So please check your names and get the usernames. And then the password will be this one. So everyone will have a common password. So you can use this password. Okay. So guys, are you able to access the lab? Can somebody confirm? Are you able to access the lab? Just click on the lab link and check whether you're able to access it.
Yes.
Okay, great. And I hope you can use
Yes.
it. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. And I hope you can access your credentials as well. And if you want me to send the file, let's say if you want me to send the lab guide, so I'll do that as well. Right. So I'll give you the lab guide here. and you can use this lab. Bahu, okay. Bahu, when did you enroll to the course?
Course link arrived me lately.
Sorry,
Course link arrived me lately in this morning.
today morning, is it?
Mhm.
Just let
Yes.
me check whether you have been enrolled or not. Just give me a minute. Yes, yes, I can see your name. Okay, no problem. No, I'll give you one login. Just a minute. Hold on.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Yes, so you can use this. Yeah, Bahu, you can use this username, okay? And the password will be the same. I hope that helps.
Okay,
And
thank you.
yeah, no problem. And I have given you the lab guide. If you can download from there, or you want me to give the link, I'll give you the link as well. So you can download the lab guide from this link. Okay. So yeah, guys, I hope you're able to access the lab. Now let's break for the lunch. Okay, we'll take a 1 hour lunch, and after the lunch break, we'll come and do the labs. Okay? So apologies, I have taken a longer time to break for lunch. Apologies for that. Okay, and Valeria, did you get any mail, any reply mail?
No, I haven't.
You haven't, but I have forwarded to the to people, and they are looking into it, and they will get back to you. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, guys, let's break for lunch. Let me put on the timer for the lunch break. I hope 1 hour lunch break is sufficient. Okay, so let me put on the timer.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, guys, have a good lunch. Thank you.
Have a good lunch too.
Yeah, thank you.